Hello, fellow heroes. What's up, guys? I was just talking to chat 2 seconds ago, and now I'm doing an intro. This is gonna be a quick, my first impressions of the Halo Infinite beta multiplayer. They released it early, just last night. I got to play it for 2 hours. I was real tired. I was doing some editing, but I jumped in there. So, I'm about to play it some more tonight. So some of my opinions may change or things like that. But for those of you who are still considering about, whether Halo Infinite is going to be worth it or things like that, I know Halo has kind of a rough kind of thing with its multiplayer. I was personally a big fan of Halo 5, and then this game showed me why I shouldn't have been a big fan of Halo 5, which is funny because I there was a time where I stopped playing Halo 5 and I was playing Master Chief Collection, and I was just really enjoying and really just nostalgic, reminiscing about like the old Halos. The reason for that, in this new one, in Halo Infinite, the multiplayer, the pacing is a lot slower. And I'm not talking about like Call of Duty pacing where, it's like you can play on a small map with 20 people, or you can play on a big map with 6 people. No, they got rid of the boosters. And they got rid of other things as well. Like, you don't just start off with abilities like you did in Halo 4 or in Halo Reach. You don't, the time to kill is increased. And I think these things are really important, and they bring back a sense of how the old game felt. So the older games felt like Halo 3, Halo Reach, and things of that nature. Even a little bit of Halo 1 in some ways. The guns, however, I don't know if they nerfed the guns or they just made the Spartans more beefy. But the guns, the power weapons still feel impactful. You still feel like you have a power weapon, which is good. But the standard issue guns, you can get a kill. You can get like a double kill. I think you can even push as far as to get a triple kill if you're hitting headshots and things of that nature. But you would have to switch to a secondary to go further than that. I can't stress enough how those two are very integral in the way that the game feels. I think those are the two most important aspects of the game entirely. There is a third one that I think is real important, but I'll get to that here in a second. So the getting rid of the boosters and making the time to kill longer makes the game feel more weighted, and it gives it more of a tactical sense. Because in Halo 5, a big problem, you could do so much and everything was so fast, and it felt like it was trying to be Call of Duty. And I feel like in the past, Halo games have never been crazy fast. They've been fun, and you've always had to commit to something. And that's what this game makes you do. It makes you commit to either attacking or retreating. Your health and your shields regenerate if you're sprinting, which is something that's absent from Halo 5. Like, you had to stop sprinting to do that. And sprinting isn't even that fast. Like, because usually there's not a lot of sprinting in the game. I think sprinting, I like that there's a sprint option in the game. That's me personal. But it does help speed up the game. And yet they were like, from getting to point A to point B, especially if you've died. And it keeps the game progressing in a good, fast pace. But getting rid of the boosters and increasing the time to kill still gives it that weighted Halo feel. Like, you do feel like you're kind of like a walking tank, like you're wearing this suit of armor that weighs over a ton, and that's kind of what you want to feel in Halo. There's the other thing is it works. It doesn't make it harder. Well, okay, it does make it harder to kill people. However, in my experience, I was able to get like double, triple kills within the span of like one shield burst, fighting multiple guys at the same time. And that's what can be really cool. And that's the fun about Halo, is battling people and feeling like, if you have the skill and you have the experience, you can lean on that in this game. In Call of Duty, if you turn a corner and there's 3 people around that corner and they shoot you, you die, right? But in Halo, it's always been a thing where, okay, you turn a corner, there's 3 people, you're at half shields, you toss a grenade, If you land nothing but headshots, you jump around, you're mobile, you could beat that 1v3 situation. Now, and I keep bringing up Halo 5 because Halo 5 was a lot like Call of Duty in that sense, where if you turn the corner, there's 3 guys, boom, you're dead instantly. Halo 5 was very much like a buddy system. If you were up against multiple people, you were gonna die. I think that isn't necessarily like the case. Obviously, you can take on more than one people if you're really good and stuff like that. But the time to kill in Halo 5 was a lot lower. The guns feel good. I don't know, they feel light. I haven't used all the power weapons. The ones that I picked up, the sniper feels good. It feels like the sniper. They have some of the mechanics to where if you're aiming down the sight and you get shot, it blinks you out of it. You can't just stay aiming down the sight. Good classic Halo stuff. The vehicles feel good. Even the new vehicles that they have. I was in the Hornet thing. It's like the new Hornet, but it's got missiles and a machine gun. And I got destroyed by a sniper. Like 3 sniper shots took me completely out. That was I was able to get a good amount of kills, but the power weapons do a heavy amount of damage. So going on to the third thing that I was going to say. Hold on. The game feels so much like the older games. So like I will play Halo Master Chief Collection, and I do not change my controls for each game. I leave the default controls for each game, and I get in the games, and I just use my muscle memory to let me play through the games. This game felt so much like older Halos. My muscle memory, like my instinctive thoughts to press buttons kept messing up. I kept meleeing when I wanted to look down the sight. I kept crouching when I wanted to melee. This game feels good. And it's a lot of fun. The third thing that I find is really important about the game, that's a plus, that's a good thing, is the map design. I have not been a fan of the map designs in some of the previous Halos, especially after the post-release. So right now, the initial release with these map designs, good. They're good. They're very much, I don't know how to say it. They're very much complex. There's some complexity to them. They're not just... I like that about maps. They have the things where there's kind of like, the 3-lane system, and then they don't have that at the same time. There's obviously routes you can take to get across the map to get to the enemy side, to the enemy spawn. And what I really think is real important about maps is like the big team battle maps, because big team battle is just a place where you go to have fun, and it's a place where you want to get in vehicles and you want to tear things up with your friends. So the maps are well designed for warthogs and scorpions and things like that. Whereas previously, they were designed in a way where it's like, okay, you can only go left or right, and then you can die. There's not a lot of covering. I feel like we haven't had really good big team battle maps since Halo Reach. And I know we had Valhalla come back and things like that, but those weren't like brand new maps. They were just old maps that were good, that were remade. So I don't really count those things. And then they had like the Forge World maps. I appreciate that, Darth. I appreciate that. And then we had the Forge World maps, and it was, oh man, it's like they were just like, they were good, but they all felt the same. I didn't feel like how there are times where you could be in a Covenant ship, or you could be on Earth, or you were on the Halo ring, and each map had its own thing. But in Halo 5, when they added those Forge World maps, all the maps felt the same, and I didn't feel like I was being immersed into the game. And I know that's not something you need, but it helps. It helps whenever you're playing around. Like, you remember Halo Reach, and they had that big effing spire, that map spire, and everyone would like fly up to the top. Like, that spire was so useless. Like, the map, it's just something stupid fun like that. Or Blood Gulch, where it was just hills, and if you were on one side of the base compared to the other side of the base, you couldn't, I think it's Blood Gulch that I'm talking about, you couldn't see the other bases, and you had to get like halfway there, and the warthogs could jump on the hills, and there was tanks on each side. Like, that kind of stuff is real fun, and this game brings that back with the map designs. We'll see how it goes post launch, and that's kind of what I'm going to get into next. Those are the good things. I probably should have started with the bad things. I like to start off with the bad things just to get them out of the way. I haven't tried out all the power weapons. They are the ones that I have picked up. I mean, they've had some cool ones. I had one that shoots like a whole row. So if I guess if five guys decided to stand side by side, you could shoot them all at the same time. They had this freaking, I don't know, this steampunk looking Tesla electric rifle, which if you shoot someone in the head, I think it was a one-shot kill. But they have like these electric weapons that are good for taking out shields now, that are human weapons, which makes sense because it's kind of like the lore's kind of changing to Spartan v Spartan and stuff of that nature. The armor abilities, this is something that I really appreciated. I was hyped for Halo 5, but something I was worried about was the armor ability, seeing the grappling hook and seeing a drop down shoot. I thought we were gonna get like more like another Halo 4 phase. I was hoping it would kind of be like Halo Reach, where it would take over your sprint ability, or you want to be able to do this and that, or the game wouldn't be too fast like Halo 5. And actually, they're pickups, so they're treated like power weapons. So that's why I'm calling them. I'm calling them power abilities. I don't know. They're upgrades. They're upgrade abilities. So you now can pick up grenades. You can pick up different types of grenades. And on top of having the different grenades, you can pick up these abilities, and they have limited uses. So the grappling hook, from what I've seen in Big Team Battle, has like 5 uses. But if you play it in ranked, it goes down to like 3 uses. Things of that nature. The grappling hook's really cool. It lets you zip around the map. It lets you grab onto people, grab items, as we've seen in the trailers. It's a lot of fun. There's some points. If the cooldown was like 0.5 seconds faster, you could swing around like Spider-Man. But if you get high enough, you can do some cool stuff in first person. It's really intuitive, and it feels real nice. There's a repulsor one where you can bounce grenades back. That one's really cool. I never got to use it because I didn't know what it did for the longest time. But that one was really neat. The idea of bouncing someone's grenade back, whether it be sticky or human, or they got new grenades like electric grenades and things like that. That's really cool. And I think again, the number of uses is really cool. They got a portable shield that you can drop that tears away over time. The ability, that was like the best decision they could have made with the abilities, is not having us spawn with them and having us go in and pick them up and have limited uses to them, and they become power weapons. They actually have this. If you ever played Gears of War, you press down on the D-pad, there's like this radar, there's sonar thing that goes out, and you can see where like stuff spawns, where objective things might spawn, where vehicles might spawn, and where the power abilities and power weapons spawn. So that's real nice, especially if you're jumping into the game or you don't play that often, or you're more of a casual player. It helps you out just for a little bit, so you can go and catch these things. That's real cool. We can talk about some of the other things. There's some little things that I notice that I don't think affect the game too bad. There's, whenever you die, there's tips, like, I don't know, like little tips like, if you throw a grenade, watch out for friendly fire, like little things like that, little silly things that seem common sense, but I guess if you've never played a shooter before, they would help out. There was, that's actually, as I'm saying this, that's actually how I freaking learned how the repulsor ability worked. Was the little tip said the repulsor ability reflects grenades, and I was like reading it while I was dead. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I want to go. So the battle pass, a lot of people are focusing on the battle pass. It is something that I am worried about. It is something that I think everyone should look out for and be worried about. Companies, I'm looking at you, Activision, Call of Duty. I'm looking at you, Blizzard. Some people tend to care too much about the cosmetics and not giving the players new content. Whereas, they get money pumped into it, and as money gets pumped into it, they put that money goes towards the investors, right? And then they continue, they ask more money from the investors, so the investors give them more money. I don't know how exactly it works, but once the money's not always going back into the game, is what I'm saying. And so if investors are seeing return, they want to continue seeing those returns. So they're going to continue working on cosmetics and shops and stuff like that. And instead of us getting like cool new maps, cool new abilities, cool new guns, and the cosmetics are nice. Cosmetics are great. We want to go in there and have a good time. I did like to see that there was challenges. There was like daily, weekly challenges. The weekly challenges kind of scare me because they looked pretty easy to accomplish. I was able to accomplish all my challenges in one match. And in the battle pass, I've heard from a lot of people can be kind of a grind. I spent 2 hours playing the game, and I if it wasn't for a glitch in the game, which I'll tell you about the glitch here in a second. If it wasn't for a glitch in the game, I would have just barely gotten to level 1 on the battle pass after playing for 2 hours straight. Matchmaking, the lobbies, they're fast, they were quick, I got in there just fine. Never had a crash, never had that. That was some good stuff. We'll see tonight. We'll play some more, see if there isn't any more crashes and stuff like that. But I mean, like that, the battle pass has some cool stuff on it. It has some really cool cosmetics. Too bad the battle pass is temporary, back in Halo Reach where you just level up and you would just get the stuff no matter what. So I don't know if there's, I need to look more into it, but if there's encouragement to buy the battle pass, like in Call of Duty, like skip a couple levels. They didn't do that with Halo Master Chief Collection, and they said they wouldn't do that with this one. So that's a good thing. I don't think they should. I don't know. The encouragement to buy into the battle pass and to buy the cosmetics, I'm okay with. It's just whenever that money doesn't go back into the game itself, into game design, into fixing glitches, into making new content for the game, that's where the problem begins. And we want to avoid that. We want to look out for that. And that's my main concern. And I think that's why a lot of people have their eyes on the battle pass right now. Right now, it's good. Right now, it's okay. It's pretty grindy. Halo 5 was really grindy. Halo 5 was so grindy, I didn't even want to attempt to try to do it. So let's hope by the time the game actually releases, they're going to fix that. They have time to fix that. They have time to change that. I'm going to be honest with you. I doubt they actually will. Now, for the biggest issue overall, for my first impressions, again, I only played for 2 hours. I'm going to play some more, there was a glitch. My very last match, I had no problems whatsoever. Played for an hour and a half straight, no problems. I was playing like this capture the flag kind of point where you got to get the goobers, these power batteries, and you had to put them in your base. You had to get 5 power batteries, you get a point. And then you had to fight for the batteries in the middle of the map with the other players and things of that nature. So what happened was we were at the last part. We were tied. We go into sudden death. Sudden death has no timer. It's infinite. It goes on forever until one team wins. The goobers, the little power supplies that we had to collect and fight over, spawned in a part of the map that nobody on either side of the team could reach. We were stuck in the match indefinitely for like another 30 minutes. Like the whole other team had basically quit except for 2 people who refused to leave. And I ended up quitting, losing all the things that I needed to get. And by the way, yes, I did accomplish all my like daily and weekly goals in that match, but I did it before sudden death occurred. So it was rather disappointing, and it was rather that's a major glitch. That cannot be allowed to happen. Like, just, I don't even care if sudden death has a timer. Like, let the games end in a draw. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Dude, like, that's such an oversight. That's a bad oversight. Like, we got stuck. We literally got stuck in that game and were forced to quit. I had people on my team quitting to leave from there. So stuff like that can be fixed. There's going to be a day 1 patch. There's going to be an update whenever this game comes out, because stuff like that needs to be fixed and will be fixed. Maybe there might not be, because this is still beta, if I'm not mistaken. But those are my first impressions. I'm going to play some more. If you have any thoughts or concern, leave a comment down below. You can always @ me at digitalhero101 and join in on us at Twitch. We have a fun time. if we have a fun time over here, you can hit any of the links below. Until next time, play nice. What's up, YouTube? Hi, Bob.